Tonight we have two speakers registered for our public speak out. Our first speak out presenter is Mr. Jerry Martin. Mr. Martin, we would invite you to speak and you'll be offered 3 minutes. Please turn your microphone on before starting your remarks. You have the floor.
Excellent. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Jerry Martin. I live at 34 Oregon Street in East Forest Park. And I would like to thank you again, Mr. President, for the opportunity to speak again tonight. To be truthful, I did not expect to be back here so soon. However, tonight I will be discussing a long-standing problem in East Forest Park. The Dollar Tree at the intersection of Island Pond Road and Allen Street. From the beginning, the Dollar Tree has been a disappointing neighbor. The Dollar Tree is consistently littered with trash, debris, and is a general eyesore to the neighborhood. Despite several attempts from code enforcement, the Dollar Tree has made little to no effort in maintaining their property. I would like to thank code enforcement and our zoning administrator, Michael Jacob, for their prompt response and their swift action to the email that I had sent on May 23rd, where I asked for help on this matter. Within a couple of days, code enforcement responded to my email and were able to issue another ticket to the Dollar Tree. However, upon further investigation, it was to my surprise to learn that the Dollar Tree has 5 outstanding tickets.
Mr. President, I don't think anybody can hear.
You know, I can't hear anything he's saying, Kaylee.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second. Focus. Is there an issue? We all set, George? Okay. All set, Jerry.
Can I pick up from the beginning, or what should I do, Mr. President?
They weren't able to hear you, so you can pick up from the beginning.
Okay. So, thank you for the opportunity. Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jerry Martin, and I live at 34 Oregon Street in East Forest Park. Mr. President, thank you again for the opportunity to speak this evening. I did not expect to be back here so soon, but tonight I will be talking about a long-standing problem in East Forest Park, the Dollar Tree at the intersection of Island Pond Road and Allen Street. From the beginning, the Dollar Tree has been a disappointing neighbor. The Dollar Tree is consistently littered with trash, debris, and is a general eyesore to the neighborhood. Despite several attempts from code enforcement, the Dollar Tree has done very little to maintain their property. I would like to thank our code enforcement and our zoning administrator, Michael Jacob, for their prompt response and swift action to my email on May 23rd, where I asked for help on this matter. Within a couple of days, code enforcement arrived to the Dollar Tree and they issued out another ticket. But to my surprise, I learned that the Dollar Tree has 5 outstanding tickets spanning over 2 years, collecting a balance of over $1,000. I went to the city clerk's office, where tickets are supposed to be paid, and found that if they are not paid, there is little to no consequence. This needs to be investigated. The amount of uncollected revenue could be staggering. I spoke with City Councilor Brian Santinello about the need to overhaul the municipal ticketing process and to look for ways that will require landlords to address these violations. This process needs to be examined, overhauled, and upgraded. In many instances, these tickets are issued to absentee landlords, the Dollar Tree being a prime example. If landlords like the Dollar Tree, who have a blatant disregard for the process, should be taken into court and suffer the consequences.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin. Our next speaker is Stephen Howard. Mr. Howard?
Thank you, Mr. President, and good evening, everyone. First off, I'd like to give a round of applause to the City Council for their vote, their unanimous vote to challenge the latest court decision concerning the biomass being, well, there was a decision by the court that gave the company the permission to basically set up in Springfield. And I'm proud of the City Council and Mayor Sano for challenging that case. And this comes in addition to the fact that Springfield has been moved up from number 7 as the highest asthma city nationwide up to number 4. An addition of this biomass, which is a wood-burning system, would further add pollution. Some of you may know that Springfield is surrounded by several highways, and because we are in the valley, that exhaust usually gets trapped. What's amazing about it is the federal government in early April rescinded $106 million in K-12 education grant funding allocated to Massachusetts, including, well, he wanted to pull back $47 million, but I understand most of that money was spent. And the state is going to do their best to make sure that whatever money has not been spent as yet, that it continue to, those projects continue to be completed. And if the Trump administration wants to pull back that money, then it will be challenged. And so those projects are being encouraged to continue. There's another $1 million in federal funding intended for asthma prevention and control in Springfield, Mass. And other Western Massachusetts cities. There's another $20 million which has been allocated to Springfield to address the quality of air, which also has an impact on asthma. So apparently, with this national administration, I don't like to call his name really, pulling back all of these funds, you know, with the layoffs, I understand that there's one organization, for example, that experienced something like 60% decrease in funding, and there are a whole lot of other things, but again, thank the City Council for the unanimous vote on challenging the latest court decision on the biomass. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Okay, that is our last speaker, and we'll conclude our public speak out. Council will stand in recess for 8 minutes until 7 p.m. Thank you. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, George. Welcome to Springfield City Council Chambers and Public Meeting. Today is Monday, June 9th. The time is 7 p.m. We have a regularly scheduled meeting with an ambitious 47-item agenda, so we are going to get started right on time. Madam, well, if I have a quorum, we will. 1, 2, 3. I do not have a quorum, so we will wait. How are we doing? That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need one more. Okay, just waiting for folks to trickle in. We need one more to get started. Okay. Clerk, we do have a quorum. Would you please call the roll?
Counselor Curran. Absent. Counselor Allen.
Present.
Present. Counselor Govan. Absent. Counselor Walsh.
Present.
Present. Counselor Edwards.
Present.
Present. Counselor Davila. Absent. Counselor Brown.
Present.
Present. Counselor Whitfield. Absent. Counselor Delgado.
Present.
Present. Counselor Santinello. Absent. Counselor Click Bruce. Absent. Counselor Perez. Present. Counselor Fenton.
Present. Will the council and our guests please rise for a moment of silence? Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay? So, councilors, we've got a lengthy agenda. We've got a lengthy
Mr.
agenda.
President, I'd like to be acknowledged. I'm here.
Okay, will the clerk please recognize the counselor in seat number 10?
Counselor Santinello.
Here.
Present.
Thank you, Counselor Santinello.
Thank you.
Counselors, we have an ambitious agenda tonight. We've got 46 items. So I'm going to propose that we take more items out of order than usual so that we can make sure that we have enough time to get to the CPA items and give them the time that they deserve. So when we get to the CPA items, I'm going to move that we take some other items before them, and hopefully we can administer those pretty quickly and then get back to the regular agenda. Okay? Madam Clerk, will you please start by calling items numbered 1 through 8 together as one item?
Items 1 through 8 are petitions. Go Net Speed, North Branch Parkway, 700 Parker Street, 658 Parker Street, 700 Parker Street, 568 Parker Street, Patricia Circle, 341 Parkerview Street, and 206 Durand Street.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there anyone here to speak on these items? Or Councilor Delgado?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to ask the council to send this to committee. There are a number of items on here that I want to make sure that we fully get information on in terms of what they're doing within the city. We do have folks here from Go Net Speed, but I chatted with them briefly earlier. I think they're fine with that from what it sounds like from that conversation.
Okay. Any questions from the council? A motion to committee made by Councilor Delgado.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Perez. Any discussion? Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on referral to the Maintenance and Development Subcommittee.
On the motion to committee, Councilor Curran, absent. Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Govan, absent. Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Davila, absent. Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Whitfield, absent. Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Click Bruce, absent. Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Motion carries. Madam Clerk, please recognize the councilor in seat number 11.
Councilor Click Bruce. Present.
Okay. Madam Clerk, can we please take items 30 through 35 as one? Those are all grants beneath our threshold.
Item 30 is a donation of goods to the Springfield Library Department. Item 31 is Springfield Library Foundation Read Right Now grant in the amount of $1,000. Item 32 is a Parks Department donation in the amount of $2,381.70. Item 33 is an SLF Central Library Teen Youth Department grant in the amount of $5,000. Item 34 is an American World War II Heritage Cities grant, no match required, in the amount of $10,000. And item 35 is the Springfield Library Foundation Summer Reading Program grant in the amount of $10,000, no match required.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please call the roll.
On acceptance, Councilor Curran. Present and yes. Councilor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Govan? Absent. Councilor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Davila? Absent.
President, yes.
Present and yes. Councilor Brown? Absent.
Yes.
Present and, yes. Councilor Whitfield? Absent. Councilor Delgado?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Santinello?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Click Bruce?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Perez?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Fenton?
Yes, more than sufficient. Matter passes. Okay.
Point of order, Mr. President?
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes, I just want to be formally recognized.
Can't hear you, Councilor Davila.
If I could be formally recognized, sir.
Can you repeat that?
I believe that you're asking to be formally recognized, and you are marked present.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor. Okay, Madam Clerk, let's try item number 36, if there's no objection. I want to try, councilors, to get numbers 36 through 41 out of the way, and then we have the police department here for number 43. So I'm going to try and do 36 through 41, then 43, and then we can go back to the regular agenda and we'll have the big presentation from the CPC. But seems to be working so far. We just did, 14 items in 9 minutes. So, Madam Clerk, item number 36, please.
Item 36 is an order granting permanent utility easement to NSTAR/Eversource at 50 Empress Court.
Okay, this is for the Walsh Elementary School. Is there anyone here to speak on this matter?
I can speak to it, Counselor.
Okay, Mr. Kerrigan?
Yes, good evening. This proposed easement would allow us to complete an electrical service upgrade, which would support us in the HVAC upgrade planned for this coming summer at Mary Walsh, which would ultimately allow us to install air conditioning at this site.
Thank you. Any questions about this easement? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On approval, Counselor Curran. Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan, absent. Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield, absent. Counselor Delgado. Away, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Counselor Davila, can you please mute?
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Order passes. Item number 37, Madam Clerk.
Item 37 is an order granting permanent utility easement to N-Star/Eversource at 1250 State Street and 60 Alton Street.
Mr. Kerrigan.
Yes, this easement will allow us to complete an electrical service upgrade at both of these locations. The present infrastructure is very old and in poor condition. This will allow us to complete a project at this site this summer to ensure that the electrical services are not interrupted at these two very large and very prominent schools in Springfield.
Questions from Mr. Kerrigan regarding the easement? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On approval, Counselor Curran. Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan, absent. Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield, absent. Counselor Delgado. Away, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Order passes. Item number 38, Madam Clerk.
Item 38 is FY24 certified free cash to stabilization reserve fund in the amount of $2,480,718.91.
Ms. Buono.
Good evening, councilors. The balance in our free cash, the certified free cash, is $2.4 million. I'm asking to move those funds for year-end close into our stabilization reserve. That will bring our current balance from $71.7 million to $74.2 million.
Okay. Questions for the CAFO? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On approval, Counselor Curran. Yes, Counselor Allen. Yes, Counselor Govan, absent. Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards. Yes, Counselor Davila. Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield, absent. Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Transfer is approved. Item number 39.
Item 39 is a budget transfer within a department finance to multi-year pay-go fund in the amount of $2,957,581.64.
Ms. Buono.
Thank you. The city funds a pay-go every year in the budget, approximately $4.9 million. This is a balance of projects that are still ongoing, and we're asking the council to transfer these funds into a multi-year account so that we can continue and finish the projects with these funding.
Questions or comments from the council? Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On approval,
Oh, okay. Please call the roll.
Counselor Kern? Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan, absent. Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield, absent. Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Transfer is approved. Item number 40.
Item 40 is a bond proceeds to golf course clubhouse projects in the amount of $3,027,332.63.
Okay. Is this Ms. Hackett?
Hi, thank you, Mr. President. Lindsay Hackett, Deputy CAFO. So this order is to transfer just over $3 million of unexpended bond proceeds over to the Veterans and Franconia Municipal Golf Course projects for capital improvements for renovation and reconstruction of the clubhouses.
Thank you, Ms. Hackett. Comments or questions from the council? Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Curran? Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan, absent. Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards. Yes, Counselor Davila. Counselor Davila.
Somebody's, yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield, absent. Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Abstain.
Abstain, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Bond is authorized. Item number 41.
Item 41 is bond authorization for FY25 for the MSBA projects in the amount of $34,481,266.
Mr. Garvey. You have to turn your microphone on. You have to turn the microphone on. There's a little button. That's the one.
Good evening, councilors. Peter Garvey, Director of Capital Asset Construction. We applied to the Mass School Building Authority for 5 accelerated repair projects, and the bond we're looking for is for $34,481,266. Consists of 5 schools. It's Pottinger Windows, Milton Bradley Windows, Rebecca Johnson Windows, Commerce Roof, and Indian Orchard Roof.
Okay. Comments or questions from the council on the bond authorization? Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On approval, Counselor Curran. Yes. Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan, absent. Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield, absent. Counselor Santinello. Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Bonds are authorized. Thank you, Mr. Garvey. Okay, councilors, so one last one out of order, and then we can get to CPC. Item number 43, the police department is here. Would you please call that item, Madam Clerk? Hearing no objection.
Item 43 is an order amending Chapter 270-11B.
Councilor Allen?
Sorry. Thanks, Mr. President. The item before us is the pawnbroker ordinance, which we've been voting on for several years. What it does is extend the period of time that they can't sell stolen goods that they may receive from 10 days to 30 days. We've voted for that a couple times for 3 years, and here it is again. So Police Officer Chad Joseph is here. He works in the property division, and he's going to come up and talk about the importance of this. You still here?
It was a couple minutes ago. Let me see if I can have the staff check on the hall for a second.
All right. Is he there? Yeah.
Okay, so Councilor Allen, would you mind doing that introduction again?
This is Chad Joseph, an officer in the Springfield Police Department. I believe you work in the property division, and he's here to talk about the importance of the pawnbroker ordinance and extending it and how it helps the police manage crime and make sure that people don't lose items before they know it. Chad, if you could just tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you. Good evening. Pawnbroker ordinance for the city of Springfield, which I don't know the exact number of years it's been in effect, but quite some time. It is a good, strong ordinance. It does work. I'll keep it brief, but, you know, I mean, basically somebody brings in jewelry, the person bringing it in, they must document that transaction by taking photos of the items themselves, very good photos of the driver's license of the person bringing it in, document all the information about that person, take a current photo of them, and they must enter all of that information into a system called NESPN, the New England State Police Network. And all the police departments in New England access that. We can look up or review anything that's pawned in New England or beyond. I recently had a recovery of an item, a cell phone, stolen on Belmont Ave. I recovered it in Texas. So that's how effective the system can be. One of the big things about our city ordinance that is extremely good is the 30-day hold. 30-day hold, when that item comes in, that dealer must hold that item unaltered, untouched for 30 days. That allows time for, if that item is stolen, that allows time for the victim to report the item stolen, for us to investigate, and for us to do the recovery. So the 30-day hold is very important, and it works. We've had a lot of, we've had some success stories. Recently, I know it was on the news, there was an arrest in Longmeadow of this gentleman. He's in his upper 50s, probably been arrested, I'm not lying, 80 plus times for breaking and enterings, okay? All over the state. Well, he did a fair amount of damage in Springfield before he went to Longmeadow, and we actually recovered some of the jewelry he stole at the pawn shop, and utilizing the city ordinance that had the 30-day hold on it, and we found that those items in NESPN. So the ordinance works. It is good. I believe all the dealers and the shop owners in the city, they're on board. Sometimes we have to just remind them, take a little more detail in your photos, but that's minor. But they're all on board, in the ordinance. It does work.
Thank you, Officer Joseph. Anything else, Councilor Allen?
No, that's a good explanation. We voted for it years ago, and we've re-upped it a couple times because the same story comes back every time, that it's effective at not losing people's property before they know it, kind of thing. So, thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Councilor Davila?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, Officer Joseph. Good to see you again. I'm just wondering, Mr. President, through the chair, I believe that last time we talked, we said that we are what's the word I'm looking for? We are re-voting on this temporarily. Is that 2 or 3 years? 3 years. 3 years. And so I did ask the question, I bring it up again, why not vote permanently, ordain this permanently? I think the issue was raised about constitutionality. Is that correct?
Well, that's fine. The reauthorization of the ordinance is just for the provision that bans new pawn shops.
Say that again.
Just the part that needs to be re-upped for another three years is the part that bans new pawn shops.
New pawn shops. Okay. Now, because I'm thinking we might as well just do it and permanently ordain this at the proper time instead of like, this is the third time we vote on this, that I'm aware of, more. So, okay. All right, other than that, I'm just curious as to why we haven't done that yet, but I'm sure there will be smart people that will figure it out. Thank you.
For second step to be ordained, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Thank you, Officer.
Thank you.
On passage of second and ordaining or final steps, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan, absent. Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield, absent. Counselor Delgado. Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Ordinance is ordained. Okay. Madam Clerk, let's go back to the regular agenda. We have addressed 21 of our items, and we are now going to return to item number 9, which is the CPA 2026 budget overview. Mr. McCarroll, welcome.
Thank you, councilors. Bob McCarroll, 96 Elliott Street. I am the chair of the Community Preservation Committee, and I'd like to introduce at least some of our members who are physically with us tonight. Conservation Commission Representative Juanita Martinez, Neighborhood Representative Yolanda Consul, Neighborhood Representative Steve Bosworth. I don't think anyone else has come in. There may be others that are on Zoom.
Bob, before you go forward, and we are on your matter, I just want to, it's occurring to me that I didn't do committee reports, and I know the Finance Committee did meet on this earlier. Councilor Allen, did you want to give a Finance Committee report at this time? Yes, sure. Your microphone, please.
Thanks, Mr. President. Yeah, the Finance Committee met today at 4:45. We started earlier because we had so many items. You can see with the CPA projects tonight. We went about an hour and 20 minutes. We went through each of these, in addition to the items, the regular finance items that we covered already with the CAFO, Kathy Bono. We spent, good 45 minutes on the CPA projects. Bob gave a great report. There was, limited discussion here and there on a few of them, but it went really well. And Bob told us about the amount of money that was involved, what the average grant was generally at this point. And all in all, Councilor Walsh and Delgado and I voted to bring all the finance items to the committee today, to the full council today.
Thank you. Did anybody else have a committee report? Councilor Davila?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the General Government Committee met last Tuesday to discuss the issue of the skill-based hiring, which will be coming up shortly. Present was myself, Councilor Tim Allen was present, Councilor Tracy Whitfield was present, and Councilor Delgado and HR Director Bill Mahoney, in which we discussed the appropriate use of using other life skills when there is no requirement or that it can be replaced instead of an education, formal education, or bachelor's degree, such as a 311 call center here. It passed with a favorable vote from the General Government Committee, and I'm sure that appropriate time, Councilor Delgado will be introducing this ordinance, which I believe is scheduled to be ordained today, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Perez on committee reports.
Yes, Mr. President, the Neighborhood Stabilization Fund Committee met on June 5th. The update report, the Marijuana Neighborhood Stabilization Fund has a balance of $2,218,738. The fund has been established by the City Council to offset impacts at cannabis business and neighborhood and provide a source of revenue to pay for the neighborhood improvement project. At the subcommittee meeting, the CAFO verified the balance. The law department was also present and gave an update on the potential cannabis litigation. The legal update were the law department has received a letter from the law firm of Foley Hugg, who represents INSA as part of the host community agreement from 2021 to 2023. The city collected an additional 3% community impact fee on the sale of cannabis. Based on an attorney general opinion, that challenge the legality of the 3% community impact fee, the Cannabis Control Commission issue a new regulation that require a municipality to show how the cannabis company's operation caused an increase on municipal services and costs. The action of the Attorney General and the CCC have led to litigation being filed by cannabis company against cities and towns throughout Massachusetts. Now the city has been put on notice by INSA that they would like to be reimbursed the monies they paid related to the 3% community impact fee. The city's liability to INSA and others may be greater than the balance of the funds. Cities and towns have been setting the disputes and lawsuits are still pending. Recommendation from the legal department. The law department recommended that no action be taken to spend the monies in the fund until all litigation has been resolved. The recommendation is to use the Marijuana Neighborhood Stabilization Funds to cover any legal cost settlements. Otherwise, general fund monies will need to be used to cover any legal judgment. The law department expects negotiations to take several months and is optimistic that the negotiation will have a better result for the city than facing multiple lawsuits. After settlements are reached, it is expected that the funds will be still have a balance. The city council will then be in a solid financial position to discuss appropriation for neighborhood projects. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Perez, for that detailed report. Any other committee reports from the council? Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on acceptance of the committee reports, and then we'll get to Mr. McCarroll.
On acceptance, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan, absent. Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield, absent. Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Committee reports are accepted. Okay. Mr. McCarroll, back to you.
So the first item to discuss is the CPC budget for fiscal '26. The Comptroller's Office has estimated that the local tax levy will bring in $2,510,000, and that about $262,000 in interest will be earned on the accounts. And we project that the state distribution, which comes every November, will be about $399,000. So the total revenue for fiscal '26 is $3,171,000. The state law requires that we put every year 10% of our total revenue into reserves for housing, historic, and open space and recreation. So $317,100 will go into each one of those reserves. The CPA state law allows us to use 5% of revenue for administration. We use less than 4%. Our administrative cost is $122,700, and that leaves a balance of $2,097,000 in the undesignated reserves, which means that we could, when we come to you next year, use that to recommend a housing project, a historic project, an open space or recreation project.
Thank you very much, Mr. McCarroll. Is there any questions on the CPA budget? After this, we have 20 projects to approve, but this is just on the question of the CPA budget overall. Any comments or questions from the council? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On approval, Councilor Curran. Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan, absent. Councilor Walsh.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield, absent. Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more insufficient. Budget is approved. Okay. We've got these 20 items, counselors. In the past, we've handled it in one of two ways. Sometimes we take it all as one vote. I'd obviously prefer to do that tonight if we can. But in other cases, if there's specific questions or concerns about a particular item, we've taken them separately. So what I'd like us to try to do is to call items 10 through 29 together. And then if a counselor in the course of the presentation has a question and would like to separate one of them, then we could just take a specific motion to do that. And I'm sure nobody would have a problem with separating it out. So if there's no objection, Madam Clerk, could you please take items 10 through 29? Also, before
Point of order.
Yes, Counselor Brown. Before you speak, Counselor Brown, whoever is sharing their screen, can you please stop doing that? Because when you share your screen, I cannot see counselors in the queue. Thank you. Counselor Brown.
One of the actual participant parent villages is a family member of mine, so I would have to abstain from that one.
Okay, so we'll take that one.
Latonia Naylor is my cousin.
Okay, so we would have to take that one separately. Are there any others that counselors are aware of right now that we'd have to take as a separate vote? Okay. So, Madam Clerk, why don't we call items 10 through 27 and 29, but not 28. We'll call that one separately so Counselor Brown will have a chance to abstain.
Item 10 is Marshall Roy Park, Ability Play Structures. Item 11 is the Forest Park Fitness Course at 299 Sumner Ave. Item 12 is Historic Home Restoration Program citywide. Item 13 is the 7-9 Stockbridge Court Stabilization. Item 14 is the Kavanaugh Building Reuse and Development. Item 15 is Paramount Theater Roof Replacement at 1676 Main Street. Item 16 is the North Riverfront Park Dock Improvement. Item 17 is the Greater Springfield Habitat for Humanity Affordable Home Ownership on West Hancock Street. Item 18 is the Down Payment Assistance Program citywide. Item 19 is the Ames House Roof Repair, 241 Maple Street. Item 20 is Ecumenical Church Roof Repair, 205 Eastern Ave. Item 21 is 52 Sumner Avenue Stained Glass Window Restoration. Item 22 is the Elijah Blake House Exterior Preservation. Item 23 is the Daniels New Bethel Restoration Project. Item 24 is Immaculate Conception Church. Item 25 is Restoring the Stern Square Granite Bench, Stern Square. Item 26 is the McKnight Restoration, AKA Buckingham Fountain and Triangle Park. Item 27 is the St. Peter's Episcopal Church Restoration of Stained Glass Window. And item 29 is the Doyle Avenue Trail at 7 Nordica Street.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Counselor Curran has also asked that we take item 14 separately as a vote. So that's not going to impact what you're doing here, Bob. We'll have you go through the whole list, but just procedurally, that's how we'll structure it. Counselor Walsh?
Yes, Mr. President. So we're going to get more of an explanation, aren't we? We got a very detailed explanation in the Finance Committee.
Yeah, they'll make their presentation in a moment. I'm just trying to structure the votes first.
I thought you meant you only wanted them to read what it was.
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to make more time so that they can make their full presentation now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, Mr. McCarroll, why don't you go through all of the projects now at this time? And Ms. Lee, we'd invite you to share your screen again if you'd like.
Thank you very much. Let me just say as an overview that this year between the local tax levy, the interest in the state distribution, we had about $1,100,000, and then there was about another $400,000 either from projects that got canceled, projects that were completed under budget, so the money came back to CPA, or money that had not been allocated from last year. It was a very difficult year for the committee because even though we had $3.5 million to recommend to you, we had 35 projects, the most we've ever had, asking for more than $8 million. So it was a very difficult vetting process. And part of what we ended up doing is taking about half of the projects and recommending funding a portion of them, thinking they could always return in future years. So that being said, I will start the presentation. So Marshall Roy Park is a project that came in from the East Springfield Neighborhood Council in partnership with Parks, Buildings, and Recreational Management, and it is to add all ability play equipment to Marshall Roy Park, which is up on Carew and St. James Boulevard. And so this is equipment that handicapped kids can use and non-handicapped kids can use. And we have recommended $300,000, $266,100 coming from the Recreation Reserve, and $33,900 coming from the undesignated reserve. So I don't know if anyone, President, do you want to have questions as I make each presentation?
Well, I think if councilors have, there's a lot to go through. So if councilors have questions, we'd invite you to ask them throughout. But if there are no questions, you can just proceed right to the next one.
Okay. The next one is the Forest Park Fitness Course. This comes to us from the Forest Park Civic Association, working with Parks, Buildings, and Recreational Management, and it is to making major improvements to the now falling apart fitness course that's in Forest Park near the Walker Stadium. And we're recommending $300,000 from the undesignated reserve. The next is the citywide Historic Homes Restoration Program. This is the program funded for several years, run by the committee itself, which gives grants to owner-occupants of houses in any of our local historic districts. The recipients are chosen by an annual lottery, and the committee is recommending $300,000 from the undesignated reserve. The next project is, the next project's being presented by Juanita Martinez because I have recused myself on this one, being on the board of the Springfield Preservation Trust.
Yeah, so the next project was recommended by the Springfield Preservation Trust, and they're asking for CPA funds to address 7-9 Stockbridge Street. The building was built, it was built in 1845 and is the third oldest building in downtown Springfield. The building is a National Registered District, is in a National Registered District. In 2023, the City Council awarded the Springfield Preservation Trust assistance to replace the leaking roof and repair the brick facade. This granting cycle, the Preservation Trust is asking for CPA funds to address the urgent need of stabilization resulting from a failing foundation. The new structure system is proposed to achieve safe and a safe and stable building. So the CPA committee is going to fund $300,000 from the historic funds.
Mr. President?
Councilor Santinello?
Yeah, about 6 weeks ago, I toured that building, and it's got a lot of historic value in the city of Springfield, and in my opinion, it's certainly worth saving. So I'm going to be voting for this tonight.
Thank you, Councilor.
So the next project is the Kavanaugh Building reuse at 443 State Street. This is a project that CPA money has been allocated to in the past. It is to renovate the vacant Kavanaugh building, formerly a furniture store, into affordable apartments with some retail space on the ground floor. And we are recommending to continue to help with the project $300,000 from the undesignated reserve.
Thank you.
Next is the Paramount Theater.
I did have a question on that, Councilor Benton. I just wondered if we could get an update on the progress of the project. I know we all voted on it and have an interest in it.
Donald Mitchell of the development team is here, so I would guess I'd invite him to come forward and give an update.
Mr. President, we are going to just take that out of order, so maybe we can save all that for the later debate.
Would that be all right with you, Counselor Walsh, if we took up that question and any vote on this item after the rest?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I know they made a nice presentation during the finance meeting.
Thank you. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. McCarroll.
All right. The next recommendation is the Paramount Theater roof replacement. I think everyone knows where the old Paramount Theater is. It now has a new owner who intends to renovate the severely deteriorated theater. The damage in the theater is because of a leaking roof. And he is going to be putting on a new roof on the entire building, and we are recommending $300,000 to help with part of that cost. $168,280 is coming from the historic reserve, and $131,720 is coming from the undesignated reserve. The next recommendation is North Riverfront Park dock improvements. This is a proposal from the Pioneer Valley Riverfront Club, along with Parks, Buildings, and Recreational Management that actually owns the park. And this is to replace the deteriorating dock that's now there with a new dock. And we are recommending $288,000 from the undesignated reserve. Next is affordable home ownership on the west side of Hancock Street in the Six Corners neighborhood. This is a proposal coming from the Greater Springfield Habitat for Humanity. They intend to build a two-story house for a lower income family that qualifies. And we are recommending $250,000, $66,100 from the housing reserve and $183,900 from the undesignated reserve. The next recommendation is from the city's Office of Housing to continue with their down payment assistance program, which has been funded for several years in the past. This is to provide down payment and closing cost assistance to income-eligible households buying their home in Springfield. It would provide a 5-year forgivable loan/grant of $7,500. And we are recommending $200,000 from the housing reserve and $2,500 from the undesignated reserve. The next recommendation is Ames House roof repair. This is one of the still damaged historic homes on Maple Street from the 2011 tornado. And we are recommending $155,000 from the undesignated reserve to rebuild the roof to the appearance it had prior to the tornado. The next recommendation is Ecumenical Church, the former Holy Family Church on 205 Eastern Avenue, the corner of King Street. They have a leaky roof. We've had many applications this year for leaky roofs, and of course, the worst thing for a historic building is water penetration. So we are recommending $151,000 from the undesignated reserve for roof repair. Next is 52 Sumner Avenue. This used to be Faith United Church. It is now a performing arts venue. So this comes from the applicant, Springfield Performing Arts Ventures. Sadly, the church, which was built in 1912, has deteriorating stained glass windows in what used to be the sanctuary, but now is the performing arts space. And we are recommending $125,000 for stained glass window repair. The next recommendation is the Elijah Blake House exterior preservation. This is from the Springfield Museums. The Blake House is one of Springfield's most mobile houses. It was originally built in the early 1800s on State Street and was moved further back near where the Science Museum is, and then was moved even further back and is now on Edward Street. And this is to $115,000 from the undesignated reserve to do a variety of exterior restoration projects on it. The next recommendation is Daniel's New Bethel Church of God in Christ. This is at 1321 Dwight Street in the North End. This is a project which the council authorized funding for in the past for window renovation, and you can see in the photograph the brand new renovated windows in the building. They also have a leaky roof, and so we are recommending $94,677 in the undesignated reserve. The next recommendation is Immaculate Conception Church at 25 Parker Street in Indian Orchard. This is a project which council authorized several years ago with exterior carpentry and painting, and this time is they also have deteriorating stained glass windows, and we are recommending $79,000 from the undesignated reserve. Next is restoring the Stern Square granite bench. This comes from the Metro Center Civic Association working with Parks, Buildings, and Recreational Management. The monumental granite bench, which had been designed by the noted American architect Stanford White specifically for Stern Square back in the 1880s, was last summer dismantled and put into storage at the Park Department, and we are recommending $63,300 from the undesignated reserve to put it back. The next recommendation is McKnight Park restoration for the triangle on the corner of Bay Street and Buckingham Street. There is a fountain there that's been there for quite some time, but it has not worked in years, and we are recommending $55,000 from the undesignated reserve to get the fountain working again. Next is St. Peter's Episcopal Church on Buckingham Street in the McKnight Historic District. St. Peter's, which is built in 1905, has broken stained glass windows, and we're recommending $52,820 from the Historic Reserve to repair the broken stained glass window and to install a protective panel in front of that large arched window facing Buckingham Street. Next is Parent Villages, 32 Hamden Street. This is a historic building which is now owned by a nonprofit organization that intends to have also nonprofit tenants sharing the building, and they bought a building that had deferred maintenance with a variety of things needing attention, one of which is a leaky roof. And so we have recommended $45,000 from the Historic Reserve to address that issue. And the last of the recommendations is the Doyle Avenue Trail, which is off of Nordica Street and Liberty Street. This is an existing walking trail that is both on private land, where we have Springfield's only urban farm, and partly on Conservation Commission land. The application comes from the owner of the farm, Todd Crossett, and the Conservation Commission, and the request was for $28,900 to address improvements to the trail on what is conservation land.
Okay.
So that's the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Bob. So, councilors, do we have, there, yes. Round of applause is deserved. We really appreciate Bob and all your committee members' volunteer work. We know this is really important and time-consuming work. We value your time. So councilors, we're going to take a vote or entertain any specific questions or comments, if you have any, regarding items 10, 11, 12, 13, not 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, not 28, and 29. Any comments or questions on that, Councilor Davila?
Thank you, Mr. President. Bob, thank you for the presentation, and to all the committee members for the excellent work you have done. This is exciting project, and thank you for doing your due diligence and really vetting this out. I want to make a specific comment, if I may, Mr. President, on 3 of the projects that did catch my eye. First of all, those in my district. The Forest Park Fitness Course is music to my ears and to my constituents that we're going to be fixing this fitness course in Forest Park. We also 52 Sumner Avenue. Particularly excited about this project because this is indeed a staple in the community. This building is a staple in the community, and it has now become, as you say, a performing arts center, which has brought vibrancy to the neighborhood, and it has brought what I call the art economy and potentially a gig economy. And so I'm very excited that you guys approved this. And I have to say, Mr. President, on a personal level, I'm excited to see the Ecumenical Church roof repair, the All Holy Name, Holy Family Church. That was the church where I got married to my beloved wife, Sonia, 23 years ago. And so it gives me great pleasure that we, on the personal level, Bob, that we are saving this great historic building. Those are my comments. And again, thank you, Bob, and everybody for a great job. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Delgado?
I just want to just echo the comments to the CPC team. Great job. I mean, I imagine the request and the need is great, and what you were able to do here touches on every neighborhood in the city, I think, for the most part. What's that? 10 different neighborhoods touched in the city by this. And not only that, but it's touching upon different challenges that are needed, particularly one that I saw another theme is of housing, right? In terms of obviously us needing more housing. And so some of the projects here actually touch upon that. And so I just wanted to make sure I give you guys your credit as well on this, because I know there's a lot of hard work that goes beyond this and the vetting and the process. So just thank you to everybody here and everybody that's online for your work on this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilor Delgado. Councilor Perez?
I also have to echo what my colleague said. Thank you, Bob. And I have to thank the Civic Metro Association. I mean, it was, when it comes to the Stern bench, I know that Betsy Johnson worked hard, even she was going on vacation. I have to thank Tom Ash, any email from my part for the fight of the bench. And the maintenance development for taking this task under their wings so we could resolve the issue at the bench. I always said it demonstrates when we work together, we could accomplish what the needs of the city. Thank you from my part as the City Council Ward 1.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Okay. See no other councilors. Councilor Curran?
I just want to, again, echo my colleagues' comments and say thanks, Bob, for your work and the committee's work. I mean, this is great for the city of Springfield. It jumpstarts a lot of projects that we wouldn't normally have time to go into such detail to review, and I think it's terrific. And just a question, is there anyone from the Paramount Theater Group here tonight, or not?
Yes, I'm Chris Sills here, the architect for Paramount Theater.
Terrific. I just want to make comments on behalf of myself and the council as well, but thanks for your investment in Springfield. It's a major project here in the city of Springfield. To invest in and attempt to bring back the Paramount is really going to be a catalyst for downtown. And just kind of a side question, and because it's been brought to my attention, and you have so much work to do with that building. Is it at all possible somehow, as the next 5-6 years, as you get the Paramount restored, to somehow get the facade, the marquee, lit, even though there's nothing in the theater itself. It would kind of bring some, a little bit of light and a little bit of energy to that little corner. And it would be nice to see the Paramount sign lit up again as we work on that. And I don't know how you do that or if you can do that, but just a suggestion that was brought to my attention. I thought it was a rather good one. But again, thanks for your commitment to Springfield. And if you can consider that just a request, that would be terrific. But thank you again.
Absolutely. No, definitely it's a great consideration. We're trying to, one of our goals is to activate the storefronts and get some vibrancy back into it while we work through the development of the remainder of the building. So that definitely is a great idea.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Curran. Councilor Allen.
Thanks, Mr. President. I was able to listen to these projects in the Finance Committee, and I congratulated them there for the great work. It's terrific work. It's a lot of detail work, a lot of projects that would never get done if it wasn't for CPA. So again, just want to reiterate, congratulations to the team for your commitment to Springfield. And these projects are, when you haven't heard about them for a year, and then they all pop on you at once, it's pretty impressive to see all the work that's being done to try to keep our city as vibrant as possible. So thank you, everybody, for doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Okay, Councilor Click Bruce.
Thank you, Council President. Also, Bob, thank you to you and your team. This is one of the great projects or great meetings that we have every year that come around, and I'm excited to hear about all the projects that you present to us. And you're very detailed. Has a presentation is top notch. I think when people bring presentation, they need to take your class on how to present projects to the City Council. So kudos to you and all of your team. I'm looking forward to support this. I also want to recognize the church community, especially the Black churches, getting some resources. So I want to say thank you for doing that. And Parent Villages, Latoya Naylor and her crew, thank you for doing that as well. All the projects are well deserved, but I just want to recognize those few projects. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Councilor Click Bruce. Okay.
And President,
Yes.
could I just add something?
Please.
I always like to remind council, and I forgot to do it at the beginning, that if you, City Council, had not voted to put the question of CPA on the ballot in November of 2016 and allowed the voters of Springfield to decide whether they might like to give a little to get a lot, we would have no CPA. And ever since CPA began, it has brought $18 million into this city. Many for little bubble up projects that come from neighborhood groups or small nonprofits, and for city departments as well. But we work hard, but if you guys hadn't voted to put it on the ballot, we might still not have CPA. So thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, any other councilors with comments or questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll, and councilors, for clarity, this is going to be on items 10 through 29, but not item 14 or 28.
On approval, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen. Yes. Yes, Councilor Govan, absent. Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila. Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield, absent. Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Items are approved. Okay, Madam Clerk, let's do item number 28.
Item 28 is the Parent Villages Nonprofit Center Resource and Repair.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. This is the one that Councilor Brown is going to abstain on.
Counselor Curran on approval?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan, absent. Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown, abstain. Counselor Whitfield, absent. Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Item is approved. Okay, item number 14, Madam Clerk.
Item 14 is the Kavanaugh Building reuse and development.
Okay, Counselor Curran.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will not be voting for this item tonight. I was not in support of it originally. To recap, it's building 32 apartments thereabout, the old Kavanaugh building, and it's going to be in conjunction with the Mental Health Association. It's going to provide housing for individuals, roughly, I believe, with mental health and alcohol or perhaps substance abuse. And the primary reason why I voted against it originally back in 2022 was not for what it's used for. We do have a mental health crisis here in the city of Springfield. We do need such services. But the location is just about on the front lawn of Commerce High. And I don't think it's really the appropriate location for such a facility. And for that reason, I was opposed from it from the beginning. And I did not think it was the proper area for it. You know, any other community, whether it's Long Meadow High or Wilbraham High or East Long Meadow High, you would have had 3,000 parents at a gym, probably in opposition to such a facility being placed that's right next to the high school. Be that as it may, it did pass, and the city of Springfield did 2 years ago provide the developers with $2.1 million in ARPA funding to complete the project. And I think that is a significant contribution to this project. And to come back tonight for an additional $300,000 of taxpayer dollars, I just think is a bridge too far. I mean, the city will be now into it $2.5 million on a project that, if you go by the Kavanaugh Furniture Building, I really don't know what progress has been made to date. There's still plywood boards over the windows. And obviously, I know people feel strongly about this project, but I just don't think, number one, it's the right location. Number two, we've already provided $2.1 million for the project. And number three, this, as Mr. McCarroll just reminded us, this $300,000 comes out of our residents' taxes, their property taxes. That it's a portion of their property taxes to fund the CPA. And I just don't think it's prudent to provide $300,000 of our residents' property taxes for a project that I don't think is really good public policy, to put this facility on the front lawn of one of our premier high schools. I just don't think it's good public policy, and obviously as the city councilors, we need to make decisions, and so I just want to let my colleagues know I will be voting against the project for that, in addition to the fact that I think $2.1 million was a sufficient allocation support, in addition to the fact that I don't think there's been much done at the project. And I don't think there's been a lot of engagement with the High School of Commerce, the Parent Teachers Association, the principal, or I don't know, I haven't heard anything from support from students or parents or any boosters or alumni of Commerce on this project. So I will be voting no. But again, I thank the CPA for their diligence and review. Usually you guys are hitting home runs and grand slams. You can't hit 400 every time on this one. I think this is a no. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Curran.
I'd like to
Councilor
be
Walsh.
heard.
Councilor Walsh.
Yes. Thank you, Council President. I'd like to be heard on this issue. I supported it. I still support it now. I think it addresses many needs in the city of Springfield, and I wanted the petitioner to give us an update on where we are, and maybe we'll address some of Councilor Curran's concerns. But I'm not in favor of having another empty building on State Street. So think this is a good project that's going to help a lot of people, particularly people in the mental health field. And that's why I'm 100% behind it, but would like more details.
Okay. Councilor Walsh, Mr. Mitchell, if you'd like to come up. Councilor Walsh has asked you to provide a little project update, please. Thank you.
Good evening, councilors. So the update on our project is we began construction, or actually so far to date, we've got about $1.9 million of investment in the project, which included demolition, abatement, and a lot of soft costs, environmental expenses, architect expenses, and we did some securing of the exterior front building, and our attempt was to stabilize that. As we went through the project, we realized that there were some design defects, and so we had to then separate with our architect. So that caused really the stoppage of work maybe last year in the summer. And so now we're just doing a reset. We got a new architect. We got new plans. And so this project now has been scaled down or broken down into 2 phases. Excuse me. Initially, we were looking at doing 35 units all at once. So now we've compartmentalized it. We're doing 25 units to the existing structure, where we'll add about 6,000 square feet per floor. And then later, about a year or so after that project is done, we'll look to come back with an additional 10 units that would then complete the project and give us 35 residential units. Our anticipation is we will finalize everything we need to with our design team by the end of the summer, and it's our hope to start construction in the early fall.
Thank you. Anything further, Councilor Walsh?
Yes, yes, thank you. I neglected to thank the CPA team, all the people who wrote the grants, and all the members of the city council who voted for the CPA to begin with. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Councilor Brown?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would have to agree with my colleague, Councilor Curran. This actual project, I was against at first, and then I still supported it, but very warily supporting it. It is right next to probably my district, and probably its foot is in my district. Once the project fell through, I believe that they had an opportunity to speak with me or the community itself about what was happening. I believe as far as the project itself, the building has been sitting there not being serviced, so it was a miscalculation, and the person who's trying to do the project. I don't think that it would be responsible, so I am voting against this one also. I don't think it would be responsible as far as the Ward 4 people in my area to throw more money at this. It was a severe chunk of money, and whatever mismanagement or mismanagement on their part as far as architectural hiring still to me shows that once it's built, there still could be situations in there. I don't see throwing extra money at it to try to fix it is the answer. I really, like I said, I was very wary about the actual project, and now fast forward, there's issues. So I was worried there would be issues in the beginning. There were issues, and now we're being revisited to ask to put $300,000 more of taxpayers' money. I don't think it's a good thing to do, representing the taxpayers in the city and in Ward 4. So I will not be supporting this.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Councilor Davila?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a few quick questions. Mr. McCarroll, can you come back up to the podium, sir, if you don't mind? Thank you, Mr. McCarroll. So this Cabinet building, is it a historic building? I believe
It is in the historic district that City Council created about 3 years ago. I think it's called the Upper State Street District. I forget its name, but
Okay.
it basically goes from Walnut Street down to School Street. So it is in a local historic district.
And under what category are you granting that money again? Or you proposing that money to be allocated?
Well, we will, when it comes to the pot that we're recommending funding, and I have to go to my little cheat sheet list. I'm pretty sure it's coming out of the undesignated reserve, but let me just double check. Yeah, so the 300,000 is coming out of the undesignated reserve. Now, even when we take money out of the undesignated reserve, we need to categorize that it's either helping a housing project, a historic project, or a recreation open space project. We will be considering this to be a housing project because the ultimate inhabitants will be income eligible people.
All right, now, Mr. McCarroll, and who's the actual owner of this building right now?
The owner is, hold on. Well, the applicant is Renaissance Development LLC. So I guess I defer to Mr. Mitchell as to whether that's also the owner of the building.
Can Mr. Mitchell come up? Hi, Mr. Mitchell, good to see you.
How are you, Counselor?
Doing quite well, thank you for your presentation.
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell, are you the guy with the Renaissance Development Corp?
I'm sorry?
Are you the Renaissance Development
Yes,
Corporation?
it's, the actual name is DM Renaissance Development LLC.
Okay.
And I'm the managing director.
So you own the building?
I do.
Okay. And you say 26 units, is that what you say, sir?
25 in phase one.
25, okay. So, Mr. Mitchell, I did hear what my beloved colleague, his objections are, my previous two colleagues. But let me take a quick spin here. So you're gonna be renting to who?
We have a agreement with MHA. And they will do a master lease with us. So they're going to primarily take most, if not all of the units, but the units will go or be designated for folks that meet a low income threshold.
All right, and let me get to the meat of my question then. But you will be paying full property tax on this, correct?
I'm sorry?
You will be paying full property tax on that building?
Yes.
Okay, so that building will not be off the tax rolls?
It will not.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you.
Mr. President, those were my concerns. I have heard the concerns of my beloved colleagues. I feel that although those are good points, that particular area is a very challenging area. We have a package store that could be troubling at times. We have a lot of, for lack of better words, I'm going to use questionable activity, and I just think that given the options that we have, this is an appropriate use for that facility. Besides, we do have a housing crisis. We have a mental health crisis. And I think we're combining the best of these two worlds here. And so with that being said, and after those clarifications from Mr. McCarroll and Mr. Mitchell, I will be voting in favor of this. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Curran?
Just a question for Bob. If you have a chance. Thanks, Bob. Was there any outreach to Commerce High and the parents of with the CPA, like the parents of Commerce High, the Parent Teachers Association, the principal? No.
Your microphone, Bob. Bob.
Sorry, so no, there wasn't. I mean, we don't do outreach when projects come to us. We do require that applicants give us proof that they have notified the appropriate neighborhood council of that they're submitting a project. But we don't ourselves reach out to others.
To Commerce High. Was there any letters of objection from Commerce High or anyone? No.
No, we received no communication one way or the other.
Yeah. So, I mean, just a comment. I kind of think that this is one of my concerns is that the stakeholders in Commerce High are not fully aware of what is about to be built again next door to their high school. And I think once they have a fuller understanding of that, I don't speak for anyone at Commerce, that they're going to be happy about it. We did, as we remember, move to neighborhood schools. I know the students are going to walk by this facility. And again, I don't think it's the appropriate place for this facility. We can't argue we have a mental health crisis. We need facilities that address that, but I don't think we need them right next door to Commerce High, my point.
Thank you, Councilor Kern. Councilor Brown?
Thank you, Mr. President. I think Councilor Davlia may be mistaken where it's located. There is no package store over there. But as far as where it's located, it's right next to my area. I had voiced concerns at the first time about not being in the loop of what was going on in that area. So once the project actually fell through, I find it kind of odd that the actual process was done again where there was no notification. I'm very active in the community. I'm very active over there at Commerce. So, you know, it still was done without, I guess, I mean, they could have actually spoken to me and I would have went to Commerce. I'd have went to the other areas, but I did not have an opportunity to do so. It's once again put up before the body. One thing I do want to stress is that some of these health agencies, while they do good jobs, sometimes they do unconventional things that might harm the city. For instance, I just was aware that in my area, they're passing out crack pipes, starter crack kits with the crack pipe and the chore and a lollipop. And they're giving it to the residents right there across from Rebecca Johnson, a high school. Okay, so to me, I don't know how anyone in heck would be passing out crack pipes. So a lot of these agencies, they do have some strange ways on how they're dealing with the public. I really, like I said, it would be very irresponsible on our part to now take more taxpayer money on things that aren't foreseen. And if it was an issue, I believe that the individuals had an opportunity to come and speak with me, not just because I'm right there and I'm the neighbor. I'm also chair of maintenance and development. This was still done in darkness to me, and I'm very leery. And as far as trusting this project itself, so I once again I will be voting against it.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Councilor Walsh?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have some questions that I want to clarify. And I guess I would ask Mr. Mitchell about the project. It is still an ongoing project, correct?
Yes, it is. And just for clarification to some of the councilors' remarks, we did reach out and we had conversation with the High School of Commerce several years ago before the project started. And I know there's been some leadership change there. We haven't re-engaged the new principal, but previous principals we talked to, they were on board with the project and they felt relatively comfortable with the project. The other thing is that it's, as Councilor Kern mentioned, it's not a facility. It's a mixed-use building. It's housing for folks with low-income issues, and some of them may have mental health issues. So I just want to make sure that, like, the narrative is correct. It is a mixed-use building that has 25 residential units and some commercial units, and it's not a facility, and it's not run by the nonprofit. Like, we're the owners. We're going to work very closely with the nonprofit organization to provide affordable, decent, and safe housing, and we're going to make sure that the property is currently managed because we own it, and that's our investment to the property and to the city.
Thank you. And I believe the city council has discussed this issue before. I do remember Mr. Mitchell coming before us. And I believe also that Bob McCarroll mentioned that many of the projects CPA funds, I don't want to say repeat offenders, but they have gotten grants before. And I can't imagine, you're working with the Mental Health Association, is that correct?
Yes, we're partnering with them. That's our nonprofit partner. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to work out a master lease where they take most, if not all, the units.
Well, I'm in support of it, and I can't imagine that the Mental Health Association is going to be a deterrent. And I think we have an obligation to support people who need our help.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Councilor Perez?
Well, most of the questions were answered. What I was puzzled, I remember this came in front of us about 2 years ago, if I'm correct, and we had approved the project. And I think the same questions that were asked 2 years ago, it was confirmed. One of the things that I could attest in having worked with the Mental Health Association, they don't have this only unit. I have seen units around the city, and they are beautiful. I mean, very well kept. I don't have no issue seeing clients in front of the building. I'm on other buildings. And if we, in my personal, it's like a form of discrimination, and I have to be in transparency here tonight as a city council, okay? Saying that and have worked personally with the Mental Health Association and the clients and the population that we serve, we have to be sensitive to all population. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Okay. Any other councilors? Councilor Delgado?
Thank you, President. I just had the questions going back towards the funding piece of it. I know you mentioned, Mr. Mitchell, some of the stuff that you used the initial, you said 1.9 million. Can you just go over that piece one more time again, and then what the use for this extra, sorry, $300,000 is for?
Thank you, Councilor. So most of the 1.9 that we spent was on a lot of pre-development expenses, a lot of engineering work, demolishment of the building, abatement, a lot of stabilization work to get the front exterior of the building just secure. We had a new roof on there. We got new windows. There's some minor framing that took place inside the building, and there's still more work to do. And so that's what most of that 1.9 was spent on. And just for clarification, that 1.9 was no money given to us yet by the city of Springfield. So we have been awarded the money, but we haven't expended any of that funding. This came from another funding source we had from Mahasa. So we had some Mahasa grant funds, and we spent about 1.5 million of those. And so to date, we don't have any city money in, with the exception of CPA, which was the first award of $210,000. And the remaining, the additional 300 we asked for is just additional costs. So over that 2-year period, as you can imagine, there's some inflationary costs that that's going to impact the project. And so we're just trying to absorb as much of that as we can. And we saw this as a viable option.
All right. I'm just curious because, I mean, we are using taxpayer dollars, so I just want to make sure I understand what the extra funding is being asked for specifically.
Yep.
What's the total cost of the project, if I can ask?
Yeah, so right now, total cost of the project is about 10.2 million. And as we're doing it again, we've just kind of, we've siloed in phases. So right now for phase 1, we'll probably spend, anywhere between 7 and 8 million when it's all said and done. And then when we look to ramp up for phase 2, that'll probably be somewhere around $2 million.
So you don't have all the funding yet to complete the project?
No, so we're doing it in phases. So what there was a couple issues, but really what we're now doing is saying, hey, let's look at the money that we have and let's get the units built, as opposed to trying to get all of the money at once and then trying to build 35 units. So we said, let's do what we can. We want to get these units online. We want to get the building operational. So at this point, we said, hey, we should be able to get close to 25 units done. We get those 25 units done, then we march on and figure out how we how we grow our capital stack to then do the other 10 units.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Counselor Brown. Oh, Counselor.
Thank you, Mr.
No,
President.
I'm sorry, Counselor Brown. I'm sorry. It was Counselor Click Bruce was before you. Counselor Click Bruce.
Thank you, Council President. Mr. Mitchell, I was going to ask a question. I think you already answered it. The extra funding, where was that going to go to? And then secondly, I guess my other question would be, this funding that you're looking to get approved, it wouldn't necessarily stop the project per se?
No, it wouldn't stop the project, but it would, it would impact it because
Right.
we have a budget. So then we figure out, okay, in order for us to get this phase done, we're going to be short about $300,000.
Understood.
Yes.
All right. I do remember I was coaching at the High School of Commerce when this came up. I wasn't a counselor at the time, so I do remember you going over to discuss with the principal at the time. Principal Neal was there at the time, and I do know that the school community at the time did support it. I do, like you mentioned earlier, there was some changing of the guard per se. So I also want to echo what my colleague said, Councilor Perez, regarding discrimination. This is going to be a housing facility. These individuals who have issues are like, listen, we all have issues. But it's throughout the city of Springfield. So I don't want us to, target your project and say, we don't want this project here in our city. I hear what my colleagues are saying, but I don't like going back on my word. I voted for this personally the first time around. Nothing has changed since, other than we had a few hiccups. So I just want to express, my support to you, and hopefully we'll get this for you.
All right. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Counselor Click Bruce. Counselor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to make sure that my colleagues and constituents understand my rejection is not based on mental health whatsoever. It's based on the fact of mismanagement and that project leaving a dormant property in the area for over a year. So it's fool me once, shame on me. Okay, fool me twice, shame on you. When an individual takes out a project and then they have conflicts or issues within their own organization, it gives me red flags. And then now how that individual handles that, now based on consideration of the community, going to Commerce and talking to principals who don't live in the area, to me is really a mute point. I really believe, as far as if you were to talk to the parents of the children, they would not support it. Okay. When you look at the level of even reconstruction, it just looked like they punched a few holes in the place and then put some boarding on the windows. That's been like that for over a year. So I'm just saying it has nothing to do with mental health. It has to do with as far as the actual competency of the project. And I would still grade it an F. Once we voted for it, I voted an F, and I voted for it. So for me to now re-support an actual entity that had mismanagement within their organization, where it stalled the project, leaving a building sitting there, being not touched whatsoever. There was no consideration for the community. They've had an opportunity to come talk to the community. I don't know where they talked to it, but they didn't. I've already voiced my concern the first time. So it sounds very odd that once the project fell through, that I wasn't notified. We weren't notified. I'm like, once again, I say, I'm always available. It is right there abutted to my area. So to see a project fall through and the actual attention to it once it fell through, and you go over there, you look at it, people have been complaining about that thing. It just seems like something happened and everybody dropped their shovels and just left the thing there. So that alone is why I do not support it. Nothing to do with mental health. It has to do with incompetency of the actual owner and the decisions that they made. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Councilor Allen?
Thanks, Mr. President. I think I'd like to make a motion to committee for this item. There's a lot of questions. We don't have Commerce here. We don't have the MHA here. I'd love to see this project be successful, but I think a committee meeting's in order to get the right parties together with the council, the right members of the council to see where things are.
I'd oppose that motion.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor. Is it seconded?
Seconded.
Motion made and seconded. Councilor Curran on the motion?
I'd oppose that motion simply because we kind of have the facts. The gentleman before us, the petitioner, he's asking for $300,000. I think we all know the issues. I don't think we need to keep talking about it. We just need to make a decision. Either we vote yes or vote no. It's not really why delay it and put it into committee. Sooner or later, the city council has to make decisions, take action. I think we have all of the points of view here in the debate. We can take a vote. I'm prepared to take a vote.
Thank you, Councilor Curran. Anyone else on the motion? Councilor Edwards.
I agree with Councilor Curran. I don't necessarily agree. I won't be voting in the same vein that he intends to, but I agree that we've got enough information. The gentleman has stood here now and already been disparaged, and his character is being challenged. And what would a committee meeting do except answer what question? This is not a new issue. This was discussed when the first time he came here, the location and its proximity to the school. This vote does not have to be unanimous. So I respect anybody who chooses not to vote in favor of it or who does vote in favor of it. But we've got all of the tangible information we need to make a decision. And I think that that's the way we should move. So I would not support sending this to committee. Just vote your conscience. However God lays it on your heart to vote on this issue, vote on it. And if it passes, then congratulations. And if it fails, then the gentleman is left to deal with the consequences of that. But to continue this and to force somebody to have to stand there, whether you're in favor of the project or not, and have him disparaged and his character challenged, whether that's legitimate or not, that was not what was brought before us today. This has already been vetted by the CPA committee. This was their recommendation, and I think that the most appropriate thing for us to do is to move the question.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Edwards. Councilor Davila on the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also agree that we have the information to vote on this matter. I do have to say that Mr. Mitchell has given us the information. In fact, he told us about the different stages and phases that this project is going through. And so, as I'm looking at this, it seems to me that Mr. Mitchell is doing the very best that he can. This seems like a very complex project, and it sounds like it's something that he has put his heart into it. I also agree that the CPA has vetted this project. They did their due diligence, and I think it's quite appropriate. Besides, as I said a little while ago, we do have a housing crisis. We do have a mental health crisis. Where else are we going to house people with mental health issues in the city? On one hand, we're going to be complaining about lack of housing, mental health crisis. We have an opportunity to do something. It might not be with all the bells and whistles that you may or may not like, but for God's sakes, it's something. Mr. Mitchell stepping up with the MHA and doing something for the community. So I do agree. I also respect my colleagues who have different sentiment on this, but I will be opposing the measure to send this to committee.
Thank you,
Mr.
Councilor
President.
Davila. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor made by Councilor Allen, seconded by Councilor Brown to committee. Any further discussion on the motion to committee? Okay. Seeing
My
none.
hand is up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Brown. I can't. So many participants. I got to scroll across. Councilor Brown.
I would still just quickly like to state, there is no, I speak on facts. I never will attack a person's character. If a person has a project, the project and and they have mismanagement within their organization and the project fails, I don't think that's competent. Maybe my colleague does. I find it very odd why I brought an issue up of not being put in the loop the first time, and my colleague the only person being put in the loop. So of course, I'm sure my colleague is for it because he's the only one, strangely, who the actual the petitioner is meeting with. I've asked about that last time, and because I said it was a problem, and then it seems very strange. I would just question the relationship between the petitioner and my colleague of why wasn't I still put in the loop? It's odd for an individual to just keep meeting the same individual, the same counselor. I brought it up before saying it was an issue. And then after the project fell through, the petitioner still goes and meet with my colleague and never considers to come and speak with me. This was brought up. So all you do is replay the tapes. So it's not attacking anyone's character or integrity or anything like that. If you have a project, the project doesn't work, I don't think that's a good job. Maybe my colleague doesn't know that. And once again, I would just question, and I would want the constituents and the taxpayers in the city to maybe call my colleague and ask him what is their relationship, because to me it seems odd why he wouldn't come and talk to me, and I requested that the first time, but he so heartily will go and talk to my colleague.
Mr.
Thank you.
I object. This is getting into personalities, and I don't think.
Councilor Brown has the floor. Councilor Brown, you can continue.
Yes, because the only reason why I mention it, I was mentioned about me. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Councilor Walsh.
He's on mute.
You have to unmute.
Or you didn't hear me. I think this is an inappropriate discussion. We're voting on a CPA project. I think it's inappropriate to say that it's a failed project when it's ongoing. A lot of false information is being given out here, and I don't like the character references.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to committee made by Councilor Allen, seconded by Councilor Brown. Any discussion on the committee motion before we call the roll? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on referral to committee.
On the motion to committee, Councilor Curran.
No.
No, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan. Absent, Councilor Walsh.
No.
No, Councilor Edwards.
No.
No, Councilor Davila.
No.
No, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield. Absent, Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
No.
No, Councilor Click Bruce.
No.
No, Councilor Perez.
No.
No, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, less than sufficient. Motion fails. Okay, back to the matter at hand. Any other discussion on item number 14? Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think we have heard enough.
Okay. So motion to move the question. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion made and seconded to move the question, made by Councilor Davila, seconded by Councilor Walsh. Madam Clerk, please call the roll to move the question. If it passes with 9 votes, we'll proceed immediately to a vote on the matter without further discussion.
On the motion to move the question, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
No.
No, Councilor Govan. Absent, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield. Absent, Councilor Delgado.
No.
No, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Point of clarification, what are we?
This would move the question, halt debate, And then immediately after this, we can take a vote on the matter.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes. More than sufficient. Motion passes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on whether to approve of item number 14.
On approval, Counselor Curran.
No.
No, Counselor Allen.
No.
No, Counselor Govan. Absent, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
No.
No, Counselor Whitfield. Absent, Counselor Delgado.
No.
No, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce. Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
No. Less than sufficient. Item fails. Okay. Item number 42, Madam Clerk.
Item 42 is an ordinance amending Chapter 73 of the revised ordinances of Springfield.
Counselor Delgado.
Good evening, Mr. President and colleagues. So this is just a second attempt of the skills-based hiring ordinance. We met recently with the General Government Committee, chaired by Councilor Davila. It received an approval rating. The only minor change we had there was just a grammatical error within the ordinance. I don't know if there's any further questions on it that I'm happy to answer.
Okay. Any questions for Counselor Davila regarding the skilled-based hiring ordinance? Did I not say Delgado? I said Davila. Sorry about that, Counselor Delgado. Sorry about that. Counselor Delgado, any questions for Counselor Delgado regarding the skilled-based hiring ordinance? Okay. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approval to be ordained.
On approval, an ordinance, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan. Absent, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield. Absent, Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez. Away, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Ordinance is passed and ordained. Congratulations. Item number 44 is in committee, and I understand will remain in committee this evening. Item number 45, Madam Clerk.
Item 45 is amending Chapter 275 of the revised ordinances of the City of Springfield by adding a new article prohibiting the manufacture, sale, and disposition of synthetically derived cannabinoids.
Okay, is there anyone here to speak on this proposal this evening? Oh, is it Maria's? Okay, is there anyone from the administration to speak on this? Okay, counselors, Counselor Perez has stepped out, I believe, to the restroom for a moment. Would we mind returning to this item in a moment and proceeding to item number 46? Any objection to that?
No.
No.
Okay. Item number 46, Madam Clerk, we'll return to item 45 at the end.
Item 46 is amending Chapter 1, Article 5, Sections 1 through 25 of the revised ordinances of the City of Springfield.
Okay, is there anyone here to speak on this proposal? This is an ordinance, this pertains, counselors, to reorganization of the position of building commissioner and the chief development officer. Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this? Last call. Okay, is there a motion to continue?
Motion.
Motion to continue made by Counselor Edwards, seconded by Counselor Davila. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Counselor Davila? Your microphone, please. Your microphone, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this is the organization of the Chief Development Officer, and what else you said?
Building commissioner. I'm not familiar with the proposal, except that I read it, so I don't know who the sponsor is or, you know, who should be here to speak on it tonight, but
I just wonder if this should be referred to the General Golf Committee, because
No, we just bring it back.
If you'd prefer to send it to general government committee, we could do that instead of continue it. Would you like that motion?
I hypothetically, maybe, yeah. I'll hold the meeting as quickly as possible. We basically reorganizing the department, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I will, doing the due diligence, I'd rather.
Would Councilor Edwards withdraw his prior motion to continue? Okay. Councilor Edwards has withdrawn his prior motion to continue. Councilor Davila has made a motion instead to committee. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Edwards. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on referral to the General Government Committee.
On referral to committee, Councilor Kern. Yes. Yes, Councilor Allen. Yes. Yes, Councilor Govan, absent. Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards. Yes. Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown. Councilor Brown. Away, Councilor Whitfield, absent. Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez. Away, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Item is referred to the General Government Committee. Item number 47.
Item 47 is amending Article 2, Section 2.2 of the zoning ordinances of the City of Springfield.
Okay, councilors, this pertains to the same reorganization. Is there a motion to committee? Motion to committee
Second.
made by Councilor Edwards, seconded by Councilor Delgado. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On the motion to committee, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan, absent. Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown. Away, Councilor Whitfield, absent. Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Item is referred to the General Government Committee. Back to item number 45, Madam Clerk, our last item.
Item 45 is amending Chapter 275 of the revised ordinance of the City of Springfield by adding a new article prohibiting the manufacture, sale, and disposition of synthetically derived cannabinoids.
Councilor Perez.
Well, the update on the ordinance is the amending on 275. And is the title prohibiting the manufacturers to sell and disposition of synthetic derived cannabis. One of the concerns that were presented the other day on the press release, many mobile stations, and it was in a crew about 12 of them. They have what is called the candy stand. I call it the candy stand. And if you look at the products of what is in there, and you look at the directions of what are the manufacturers saying, is 100% magic. But the problem is, and it's very scary, is that, for example, Skittles, they have Skittles with C. So when you look at the packages similar and have that THC, which is a component very demagnet. So what had happened is that this city ordinance was put in place. So and it's not the first time the state of Massachusetts is doing the same ordinance, but we are the first to acknowledge it from the city of Springfield, As parent, I was very shocked. Commissioner Helen Colton did a very thorough presentation of the matter. And we are seeing the evolve of other businesses selling this type of cannabis. What I could say from a parent perspective, not from a professional of what's going on, but looking and reading what I have read, it's very scary. Any child with any age could go and take this product as a candy, and the parents think it's a candy that is being sold to the child. So that's the presentation that I have. It's very scary, and the situation is getting out of control. I know that one of the recommendation was to impose a fine of $300, not for one item, but for each item, and to aware the community. One of the things that I said at the press release is that we should educate our community. I would like to see this in various language, and it's a very scary situation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Any comments or questions on the ordinance and first step? Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilor Perez, thank you for your presentation. Just a quick question to the chair. So are we imposing a penalty?
Not at this point, we're just looking at the ordinance. My recommendation right now, there's a lot of questions that are gonna come out of this ordinance. I'm 100%, and I will say publicly as a parent and a grandparent into it, but if the council feel that it's other questions that you should have said, I would personally recommend to go to committee, just to the general government, address whatever concerns the issue, and have it come back for clarification of the matter.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. I do agree with Councilor Perez, and I think that this is a good sentiment. However, we got to put some teeth into this. You know, I think that $300 is just the beginning of the conversation, because otherwise they're going to keep doing it, right?
Correct.
And so, if I may, I do have an obligation from a public safety standpoint, Mr. President, to say that when you do consume THC products, gummy bears, brownies, whatever it might be, whatever rocks your boat, in other words, you're supposed to consume them, eat them, and wait. And wait. Oftentimes what we see, particularly with kids, is that they just binge on it. And when that starts working on you, when that explodes on you, you really have a problem when you could go what is called a syncope episode. You basically faint. And it's really, really a problem. So I'd be more than happy to receive this in General Government Committee. And like I say, the $300 would be, in my opinion, just the beginning of the conversation, because we got to make sure that we get some teeth into this. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Click Bruce.
Councilor Perez, thank you for bringing this to the council body. I would just also like to recommend, if you can, we can do it as a joint committee. It's also public safety, because this is a public safety issue for our residents here in the city of Springfield.
So let it be noted.
This would go to the
Yes,
Public Health and
yes.
Safety Committee.
Yeah, to the safety. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Edwards and Attorney Shea has indicated that he, would be willing to speak on this issue if councilors have any questions about it, because he did, and the law department was involved in drafting. Councilor Edwards?
Well, first of all, thank Helen Carlton, my colleague, and all of the police and other entities that were involved with this. We passing this tonight, first step, automatically sends it to committee anyway, so I would hope that we would at least do that during that committee meeting. Once this passes first step, we can then discuss, as my colleague to my right said, putting some teeth on it. I mean, to have a law that has no enforcement, what good is it? So I'm very much in support of passing this first step and looking forward to an opportunity that we can discuss what an appropriate fine and who might be the authorities other than just the health department or the police department, who would be the entities that would be capable of enforcing it. So I'm very much in favor of passing this right now at first step, where it then would go to the Joint Committee of General Government and Public Safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Allen, were you trying to be heard earlier? Did you still want to be heard?
Well, I just have a question. This discussion seems like should be taking place with Helen Carlton Harris here, or someone from the health department. I'm not sure. It sounds like something that's got a lot of credence to it, but I just don't know that we know enough. I don't know what you know, Maria, on it, but it just seems to me that Helen or someone like Helen should be here.
So she will be invited to the joint committee, and I think that's the time that we will address the questions that it needs to be addressed if the councilors have any questions. Yeah.
For general government.
Yeah. And the safety as well.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay. Councilor Davila, and by the way, there's been talk about a motion, but there hasn't been a motion made yet. So if someone would like to make a motion, just do it.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I agree with my colleague. I don't see why we shouldn't be able to take first step today. I think that would be appropriate, and then send it to what is my strong preference, and I think some of the council have said, to a joint committee meeting of the General Gov and Public Safety. With that, I'm not exactly sure what's the right procedural way of doing this. Take the vote first?
If there's no motion, then we would proceed to a vote.
Okay, so just to be clear, it's going to go in the joint committee afterwards.
Well, no, the rules, this is clearly public health and safety, so I would refer it to the Public Health and Safety Committee. If Councilor Click Bruce wants to have a joint committee, then he could defer to the chairman of general government and have a joint one, but this is squarely within public health and safety. So I would send it there, and if Councilor Click Bruce wants to have a joint committee, then that's up to him.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councilor Click Bruce?
So, Council President, I mean, I understand I'm over the public safety, but I would defer to my colleague because this is her ordinance that she's bringing forth. She wants to handle it moving forward.
Councilor
Thank
Perez?
you.
So at this time, it is a safety issue because it's a safety over. And I will refer it to the Safety Department Committee, and yeah, that will be my decision. Then if we find out of the committee, of the Safety Committee, that any other committee has to come in place, that will be a decision by the chair. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Okay, any other discussion on approval of first step of this item? Okay. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approval of first step.
On first steps, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan, absent. Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown. Away, Councilor Whitfield, absent. Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more insufficient. First step is passed. Any more business, Madam Clerk?
There is not.
Okay, council will stand adjourned. We have our last meeting before summer recess next week. It's a hearings meeting, councilors. And just to remind councilors, after the hearings meeting next week, we will not meet again until July 14th. That's a regular meeting. Then we have a hearings meeting in August on the 18th, and then we won't meet again until the regular meeting on September 15th. Thank you, everybody, and good night.
All right.